Yes, people, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Welcome to the London Stadium. Newcastle have drew here 2-2, Desmond 2-2 with the Hammers. The Magpies and the Hammers have ended the game all square. You just need to make sure you check out the match day vlog. It's absolutely fantastic. Some unbelievable crack between the Newcastle fans and the West Ham fans. I was right on the line next to them, so that'll be out later on tonight. But tell you what, the sun is still shining, the weather is unbelievable down here. And that was an unbelievable second half of Newcastle. Not so much first half. Definitely another tale of two halves from the two, and a bit like the Man City Carabao Cup game. To be fair, you know, it was. Let's start it off from the beginning. There, you know, the first half we're passing it around, but doing nothing with it. West Ham barely touched the ball, and then the score, because we are massively caught out at the back. Lascelles so slow with it. Lascelles been brilliant since come back in the team, but Lascelles was slow. Nick Pope had a nightmare. He came flying out, completely misjudged it, and it was a tap in for Souček and West Ham to take the lead. And that is all they did for that entire first half. They just allowed us to have the ball after that. They just sat back. We had loads of possession. I'm not even sure what the stats are. I haven't looked, but we had all the ball, but didn't do much with it. First half, we're lacking any real creativity. We're looking a bit leggy, a bit hungover from the PSG game. And we weren't doing enough, we weren't creating enough. You know, everything was trying to go down that right-hand side with Trippier and Bruno, and it was all too obvious and all too predictable. And the left-hand side, we were massively struggling. You know, Anderson actually ended up moving from the left to striker, and Isak went to the left towards the end of the first half, and they still weren't doing much. You know, we couldn't really get involved in the game much. Lose the ball, not enough chances, not testing their keeper, not threatening the defence, and I think West Ham were just happy to put everyone behind the ball. You know, we're given that 1-0 lead, and they were playing like the away side, and we were like the home side. You know, all of the possession, but not really threatening. It wasn't a great first half. I thought we were slow, sluggish, too many touches on the ball, not enough assertiveness on the press, on the pass, on anything really going forward or defensively. It wasn't quite up to speed, but. Second half, we were saying this in the concourse, we were praying for this at half time. Hopefully another Eddie Howe team talk does it, and it did. Second half, we were way better. What are we taking at second during the half time break? There's Bruno been scrambling the Kinder eggs, you know, has Isak been on the Lucozade, Powerade, Gatorade, and the rest. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, we were so much better when we came out of that second half. We were fantastic, with a lot more energy, a lot more direction, a lot more, you know, really going for it in that final third. More input, getting at them a lot more in that second half. Almiron was getting better, Bruno's passing was fantastic, Trippier getting forward more, Bale was looking a bit more composed, Tonali was getting stuck in, and then we got the goal. You know, we got that first goal, and it looked like it was only going to go one way, that match then. You know, Isak gets the first goal, there's a long VAR check, it's given, and we are firing. We are like a different side after that. The crowd's different, it's a big lift. I think here at the London Stadium, it struggles because of how big it is at the back, and there's that massive gap between the bottom tier and the top tier, the travelling sound, and to create like a buzz and atmosphere. I think they do that on purpose, to be honest. There's definitely scope to build more seats there, but they leave it empty. And Newcastle get that first goal, and we are flying. The players are up for it, the crowd's up for it. It's all change, and you think we're going to go on to win this 2-3-4-1 here. You know, could have been 5 like last year. And then we do go on and get that second goal, deservedly. You know, it is all Newcastle United. We are dominating, we're flying, we're testing. And Isak gets the second goal. Brilliant bit of play by Bruno. Lovely ball into Trippier. Isak with the finish. And we are awake. It's like we've just had a rocket up our second half, and we are dead up for it. And from there, we probably should have killed the game off. Isak again had the chance. You know, he was on a hat-trick. He had a chance for a hat-trick. He rounds the keeper. It ends up hitting the post, I think. And you think, man, at that point I thought, I can see a late equaliser. I literally turned to those behind me and I said kudos when he came off the bench. I was like, look out for kudos. He is a player, he's a talent, he's a threat, he's a nuisance. And he proved to be that. You know, he did. And Newcastle could have and probably should have made it 3-1. Should have wrapped up the 3 points and took them back to Tyneside, killed off the game. We couldn't do it. And when you don't do that, the threat is always there, even though West Ham never, ever in a million years looked like scoring. They didn't out. I thought they were very bad today, West Ham, and West Ham fans, I bigged you up in the preview. I bigged you up in the train chat. You know, I was on the train today. I did a video there at the station this morning. It seems like ages ago that. So you know West Ham are a very good side. They recruited very well. I mentioned kudos. And I think maybe obviously they were tired as well. They travelled to Germany on Thursday night and beat Freiburg. We beat PSG at home on the Wednesday. And maybe that told. But they came to life in the closing stages. We sat off. We looked absolutely shattered. We looked dying at the end there. And I think it's a good job that the international break has come, to be honest. I think not for momentum, but for injuries definitely. And we should have made the changes earlier, to be honest with you. Murphy and Wilson come on. I think them changes should have been made earlier. I think even bringing on like a Tino Livramento, I would have changed things up and brought a bit more energy to the side, because we were absolutely shattered in those dying stages, and that's why we conceded. And then we could have even went on to lose the game, to be fair. You know, it's Nick Pope with a fantastic stop as well when it's 2-2. And I said my honest prediction in the train video this morning and in the preview was 2-2, and I got it right. You know, I wish it was 2-1, 3-1, which it could have been. It was 2-2, but it could have been 3-2 West Ham. I think that's a decent point. Listen, I think that's a good point away from home. Coming all the way down to here, West Ham, after playing midweek in Europe. It wasn't easy. You know, it's been absolutely boiling here today. The sun is still shining. 25, 26 degrees or something in London. I don't know what it's like in Newcastle, but it's unbelievable. Yeah, in October. What's going on? Global warming is real. Do you know what I mean? The weather has been crazy today. That wouldn't have made it any easier for the players that were tired. I just think we could have and should have probably got 3 points there in the end. However, seeing that, probably a fair result. A tale of two halves. West Ham the better the first half, Newcastle better the second half. I mean, I think West Ham better first half. They didn't really do anything apart. They scored that goal, and then I suppose they defended well. They sat back, but Newcastle didn't test them enough. So maybe we should have edged it. It's a sickening that they concede in the 89th minute. But then the tables turn, and to be honest, 6 minutes at a time, you're thinking, oh God, yeah, we're gone. I'm just glad we came away here from a point. I think coming down to London, West Ham had a good start of the season. They are a very good side. They didn't really perform like it did today, I don't think. But I think both teams were tired from midweek European games. And I think a point's a decent one on the road. What are we now? 7th, 8th, 9th in the league? Something like that. I think there was a lot of draws in the Premier League today, is what people were saying around me. So it's a decent enough result. Listen, it's a good point. And we can move on. Thankfully, there's an international break. Like I said, I think it's a bad time in terms of momentum. At least we're still unbeaten. What's that now? 4 or 5 games unbeaten in a row in the Premier League. But a lot of players need a rest. I think your Burns, your Longstaff, obviously Gordon was suspended today. He missed out. He needs a rest. Bruno going to play for Brazil. Isak definitely needs a rest. Wilson, can he come back stronger? Hopefully after the international break. Botman's back. Willock, when's he going to come back? And Joe Linton today was another big miss. I think games like today suit Joe Linton down to a T. But it was a good enough performance from Newcastle, especially second half. They turned up. It's a good point on the road. Right then, people, I'm going to go back, catch me tube, catch me train, get back to the tune. Make sure you tune in for the match day vlog. It's a belter. Honestly, it really is top class. You need to see that. Them West Ham fans were bizarre, funny, and angry and stupid, all in one, to be fair, in that away end. So make sure you have a look at that. Some great scenes in the build-up of the day as well on the train and in and around London. So give this one a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel TV, and I'll see you on the next one.